So let me do a quick intro to this video, because as I'm editing the video, I'm like, okay, this sounds a little bit random. So I've been looking for base coats lately, or top coats, or like a one coat polish that bond a little bit more gentle with the nail. And that might sound a little strange because for decades, nail industry has been trying to do the exact opposite, right? So raise your hand if you want your nail polish to last longer. And sometimes the polish just does its job a little too well. So longer wear equals fewer chips and stronger adhesion, obviously. So, but sometimes that strong adhesion can create a small problem. So the nail plate, when you're looking under microscope, the nail plate is layered keratin structure. And the surface is made of very thin overlapping cells, almost like little scales. So when polish forms a very strong bond with the surface, something interesting can happen over time. So your nails are constantly moving and they expand and contract when they absorb water, and the nail polish does not block the water completely. And during that swelling and shrinking, a very strong bonded nail polish film can slowly pull the little flakes up. So then they are a little bit curled, which then looks like your nail is dry and the texture is a little bit rough. And this is why people think that the nail polish is drying out the nails. Meanwhile, this is just mechanical damage. And if the nail polish bonds more strongly to the top layer of the nail, then the layers are connected with each other. Something has to give, and this is where you start seeing peeling sometimes. So the layers are disconnecting from each other. And strong bonding base coats can work very well for naturally strong nails and for people that wear nail polish occasionally. But if your nails are already damaged, or the surface is peeling, or if you are very concerned about preserving the natural nail surface, a slightly weaker, more flexible bond might actually be a better option. And this is where this base coat becomes interesting. So Mavala barrier base coat, and now I think it's called Hydra Care base coat, works quite differently compared to traditional nail polishes. Instead of relying on the typical nitrocellulose film and the solvents, typical solvents like the butyl acetate, ethyl acetate, it behaves more like a water-based acrylic coating. And because this base coat is so different, in this video you will see useful tips on how to apply this base coat, because it does behave differently, and I'm using it with two different easy to find top coats. And I'm going to include more information in the description box below in case you're interested. Okay, not a fancy video, but I'm going to just film and show you the application of this base coat, which is nitrocellulose free, which by itself it's not lasting well. And I'm going to put, normally I don't mix brands, but all the top coats from Mavala do have nitrocellulose. So we're going to try to see if with the top coat, this base coat is going to last decently well, and if it's not going to peel. So the application is a little bit tricky. It has to be thin, it has to be very thin. So, and I'm very comfortable with a thin application, yet I still had to make sure that the application was thinner than even I thought. Because what happens is, if you see this little here, amount of product, if it's there, when it dries, it looks clear, but then once you put the top coat over it, it starts to develop these really weird white cloudy areas. So strange. Also, it pulls to the side, so it's not a very easy to use base coat. So I'm going to do the 4 nails, really stretch it, and then keep this hand flat and do the other one. And then I'm gonna do the thumbs separately once this sets. Takes a little bit of practice. It's been a while since I used it, so I might make a mistake. But we'll see how it applies, how it dries, how it looks. The brush is okay. I mean, it's not an oval brush, but because you're applying this with so much pressure, it's okay. It's fluffy somewhere. It's not a super quick drying base coat, so you still have time to almost stretch it. Okay, I found this one. Okay, so I can see that this one is dry except for the very ends. This one here, see? It's still a little wet. This one is dry, so it really takes time to how to apply this really thin. You really need to put a lot of pressure. Okay, see, the thumbs are good. There was no cloudiness yet. We'll see. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes, so this needs to be dry. We'll see how the Seche Vite behaves first. I changed the brush of the Seche Vite because I don't know, I cannot work with the, oops, let's remove my mom's nails so I can do this. Yeah, I can't work with their thin brush. Okay, so this dries flat. We'll try this one. By the way, the lids come off. This is thinner, the application. Okay, this dries flat. So it's interesting. So it goes on milky and then it dries clear. Okay, we'll give it a couple minutes to dry. Okay, 3 minutes later, this is dry. So Seche Vite dries to kind of like a dazzle dry, to that really solid, very slippery finish. This one is a little bit rubbery, you see? So this is where the polish was here. See that little cloudiness? That's where the base coat was a little bit too thick. This is what happens. But so far, I think the Seche Vite is more shiny a little bit. Okay, so we'll see what it looks like tomorrow and I will keep you updated.